How's it going, guys? The gameplay you're watching is going to be Ascend Hardcore Domination on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. It's going to be a gameplay commentary. The commentary today is going to be Day 2 of Mlg Columbus. Just like I did yesterday, I'm going to recap what went down today. And like I said yesterday, I'm going to finish up the teams that didn't finish at the time that I made that video yesterday. So those teams were Team Caliber facing off against Esport.org. Team Caliber won that 3-0. Stunner versus CLS. Stunner won that 3-1 over CLS. Justice versus the Rise Nation. Justice took that series 3-1. Now moving on to Day 2. That was this morning. Started with open bracket, and that was Vitality versus Relapse. Vitality took that series 2-0. Noble Pro versus Isolation Empire. Noble took that series 2-1. Fear versus Elevate. Fear took that series 2-1. And then Vitality again facing off against Illmatic, this time taking the series 2-0. Fear versus Orbit. Orbit took that series 2-0. So then Orbit and Vitality secured their place in pool play. Moving on, Noble versus STDX Notorious. Noble Pro Impact took that 2-0. Now DT Esports versus Icons. DT took that one 2-0. Now that made open bracket advancing to pool play. That made Pool A Noble, Pool B Orbit, Pool C Vitality, Pool D DT Esports. Now moving on after that, it went to the regular pool play. Optic Gaming facing off against Noble Impact. It's close hardpoint maps. It was 207 to 197 for Optic, and then it went into 13 seconds left, and Noble capped on a CTF. Very close matchup right there. And then the series was tied 2-2. It went to a Game 5, Round 11, S&D on Riot. Optic clutched up when they needed to and won that map 6-5. It was intense. They took that series 3-2. Then FaZe took on Team Vitality again. Well, not again, but Vitality facing off another person. And FaZe won that series 3-1. Team Envious faced off against DT Esports, and Envy won that 3-0. Easy sweep. Automatic Reload versus Orbit, another 3-0 easy sweep for Automatic Reload. Optic Nation, they were struggling early on, but they came back and won 3-0 over Orbit. Denial versus Vitality. Denial took that 3-1. SB versus Esports, or BT Esports. SB won that 3-0. TK versus Noble. TK took that 3-0 over Noble. Now, this was something a lot of people were mad about. They had Envious and Optic playing at the same time, and neither one of those were streamed. They were playing off stream, which made a lot of people mad. But it was Envious versus Carnage and Optic versus Esport. Both of those teams, Envious and Optic, they both 3-0'd those opponents. So a lot of people were mad that it was not on stream, but at least they got the 3-0 sweep. Would have been nice to see that on stream though. Rise versus Orbit. Rise won 3-0 over Orbit, and Optic was 3-1 in pool play at that time. Justice versus Automatic Reload. Justice took that win 3-1. FaZe versus Stunner. FaZe won an easy 3-0. Prophecy versus Noble. Prophecy won 3-0. Now that was teammates at one time, and then they were enemies now, so they enjoyed that win. Aware versus DT Esports. Aware won 3-1. Vitality versus CLS. CLS took that series 3-1. Denial was number 1 in Group C, and Justice was number 1 in Group B at that time. So moving on, Optic Nation versus the Rise Nation. Optic took that 3-2. It was a close match as well. I think that went into a couple round 5, or one round 5, game 11, I think. Not 100%, but they had to clutch up. But then Team Caliber versus Prophecy. Prophecy won 3-0 like it wasn't nothing. SB versus Aware. SB took that series 3-1. After that map, Pool A standings were Prophecy, Optic, and TK, and we had 4 and 5 left. CLS versus Denial. Denial took that 3-1. Vitality 3-0'd Stunner Gaming. So that made champ bracket games Optination versus Prophecy, Envious versus Denial, Justice versus Optic Gaming, and SB versus FaZe. Optic secured their spot in winners bracket, and then Optination versus Prophecy just finished up. Prophecy won that 3-2. Yeah, and I believe Optination goes down to the losers bracket. Then Envious took on Denial. Very, very close matchups. Clayster went big and won their game, and that made that series 3-2 for Envious. Now, Justice versus Optic Gaming is coming up soon, as well as, SB versus FaZe. That is currently going on right now, as well as another team I'm not sure about. But those are going on right now. Again, it's 11:30. I want to go ahead and get this video out so you guys can see it. If you're just getting off of work, getting home from whatever, I don't know. I was going to say school, but it's Saturday, so I don't know. Whatever you're doing, if you haven't been watching the stream, now you have a little update. I'll make another video probably later on tonight, depending on how long this Optic Gaming, Justice, and SB versus FaZe match go up. And I'll probably have another video talking about the the winners bracket and the losers bracket, and get you the teams that are in that. Another thing I want to talk about is Neslo. He's on Team Fear, was on a few other teams before. He posted earlier he wants to go home, and then he posted, "No, we're not out of the tournament. I just don't want to be here anymore." And then he said, "This is my last event. After this, I'm done." So what's going on with Neslo? I'm not sure. Fear, I think they did pretty good. Yeah, they came out of the open bracket against Elevate and won. But I guess they didn't do so well later on in the games. But yeah, another thing I want to touch on is Team Huckleberry. They're the youngest team. They came out yesterday, and I don't know if they played today or not. They're like 8 to 10 years old. They're really good, I guess. A lot of people are following them on Twitter. They went from like 100 followers to like 5,000 within not even 24 hours. So pretty cool to see little kids like that in the scene already. They'll probably get big if they keep up the way they're doing. But just want to touch on that real quick. Again, I'll let you guys know about the open bracket, or not the open bracket, but the winners bracket, losers bracket. Let you guys know about the Optic FaZe, Optic Gaming, Justice, and SB versus FaZe matches. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Subscribe here for more videos. Hopefully you guys enjoy the gameplay. Hope you guys enjoy the commentary, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.